Howdy, howdy, folks, and welcome to a Thursday night Bob and Sheri happy hour. It's Bob and Sheri and friends, and tonight a lot of friends, including Heather, the director of social media for the Bob and Sheri Show, Doc, one of the producers on the Bob and Sheri Show, and I understand that Lamar will be joining us, and I'm excited about that, Sheri, because this is the first time I think we've been together on the happy hour while Lamar has been a full-time cast member.
I think so. Yeah, it's been everybody's schedule has been so chaotic, and this is a busy time of the year for like fundraisers and events and stuff. So that's why you'll see some of us here and some of us not. But tonight, almost everybody is in the house, and we were just saying before we jumped on how much we like what you're doing with the place, Doc.
Oh, thank you. I was just saying it's the only place that I actually stay in the house because it's so cool and because it's also my work office.
Yeah,
the lighting is fantastic with the blue walls and the lighting in the background. I mean,
well,
I
and
love
the
it.
color with what you've
Right.
got hanging on the walls and the
It's so
bookcases.
sexy, and speaking of sexy,
We just got home.
Lamar, we got to make sure your mic is right.
Yeah, you got to turn your mic on, Lamar.
Have I not got it on? Hold on.
we can hear you, but it's low.
Okay, hold on.
I think we're hearing him off of his webcam instead of off
I'm
of his
afraid you are.
microphone.
Hold on.
The idea that the worst problem is that his mic is not quite loud enough when I'm looking at what is basically the Brady Bunch opening.
Is it any better now, Heather?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Okay.
Now tilt your camera so we see less of your ceiling. There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what the
Thank
women want. Less
Yeah.
ceiling and more of you, baby.
More of you, baby.
Maybe here's my baby over here.
Oh,
Hey, Darby.
Hey, baby.
She knows you're talking about her.
Yeah.
Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we were just complimenting Doc on his motif. in his-
Doc, that
in
looks
his house. Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you.
That looks great. I love that.
Sherry,
Doc and I have grown a lot closer. I now refer to him as baby doll. So,
How do you feel about that, Doc?
I love it. I've never felt this special in my life. So I'm embracing it.
secure. He's
or
a secure man.
uncomfortable?
I want to say hi to Sherry Wallace. She's in Lexington, Kentucky, horse country tonight. And we've got another Kentucky. Melissa Flynn is in Winchester, Kentucky, having some Biltmore Riesling this evening and making homemade
I
vegetable
like a little
soup.
Riesling every once in a while.
Dory is in Beverly Hills, Florida. Have you all ever heard of Beverly Hills, Florida?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a Hollywood, Florida, too.
Yeah, I know Hollywood, Florida. I didn't. Is Beverly Hills, Florida, a special separate town?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small, but I think it's
Yeah,
its own
yeah.
separate place.
Yeah.
We got Bangor in the house. Wendy,
Yeah.
Wright, how you doing?
Yeah.
Holden Beach, Becky Roberts, another Lexington, Kentucky, Deanna Price, and Wendy Duggar. We got a lot of Kentucky people in here tonight.
Right.
Did Kentucky win last weekend? Did the Wildcats win
I don't know.
on the football sporty game?
I think so because I think they were playing my team, Florida.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
Hello,
tried to-
Ed. Hello,
Hey,
Ed,
Ed.
from Grand Junction, Colorado. One of the most
Yay.
wonderful towns in America. We've got who else do we have here? Deborah, cheers from Paris. Wow. Hello, Deborah. And I really do think that's Paris, France. Isn't that
Wow.
amazing? Isn't that amazing that we're connecting with people in Paris, France?
The technology. You know what? I'm just even though you get used to it. I mean, like every minute of every day, we're using all of this stuff, but every once in a while, you stop and go, "Whoa!" Like, "Whoa!" Look at
When I
Cat
see
Kane's having a turkey dinner. I like that. I think
Yeah.
that's like Thanksgiving. They do it in the summertime though, once a year. I like that.
That's nice. When I see somebody check in from Wasilla or Anchorage, Alaska, that blows my mind. Absolutely.
We've got Janelle Schoonover, Janelle Schoonover. Greetings from the heart of the heartland, Iowa, where the corn and beans are being harvested.
Oh, great. That is
Paris,
wonderful.
Tennessee. Bob, Teresa Broom said it's Paris, Tennessee.
Oh, it's Paris, Tennessee. Okay. Well, I mean, I could have been wrong. I could have been right
You could have
because
been right. That's right.
we have people from Honolulu who get on, people from all over Europe. So, but Paris, Tennessee, we love you too.
Well, we've got a Paris, Tennessee and a Paris, Texas, right? And
Right.
then Georgia will trip you up because Georgia's got Rome and Athens in it.
Oh, Wausau, Wisconsin. Do you
Yes.
remember drinking, you and I drinking at the bars in Wausau when we went there?
Oh, yes.
Huh?
That was so cool. That was my first experience with those kind of bars. That was very nice.
I know. The bar, for what we're talking about, Lamar is referring to is, there are cocktail lounges. Cocktail lounges are sleazy places. Let's just face it. I mean, I guess there could be some nice ones. There's some upscale bars, but the bars in Wisconsin are safe havens. People
like a
go
home.
there.
It's like a home.
Everybody knows everybody. It's like Cheers. Women go in there alone and sit down and, have a brewski, and everybody, talks and everything. It really is the closest thing that I've ever seen to our version of an English pub.
Because they're homey like. It's like
Yeah.
they'll have a special, like have some pot of stew or some sort of something that they're cooking every day.
Yeah.
It's so homey. It's just, and it's a very sort of a close quarters, and it feels like you're at somebody's house. It really
I
does.
don't think they have a pot of stew there in the bar.
We went to one and they had stew. I'm telling you, they
had a pot of stew.
Pot of stew, yes.
Do you know where else we saw that kind of vibe, Bob? Do you remember when we were it was cold, so it must have been like late fall. We were up in Hudson, New York, and we went to the tavern where the Paul Newman film was shot, Nobody's Fool.
Iron Horse.
Iron Horse, yeah. So Max was with us, and it was the opposite. Instead of Bob walking into the biker bar and asking what kind of Chardonnay they have, we walk into this Iron Horse Tavern, and it was kind of like you're describing. Like there were just a lot of people in there, and they all knew each other, and they were hanging out. And the bartender takes our drink orders, and it gets to Max, and Max says, "What sort of sparkling water do you have?" And the bartender was like, "I got some club soda in this drink gun. I can give you that."
Yeah, right. That's right. That bar was a little bit different than the Wisconsin bar. No, I mean, I loved the Iron Horse.
It was
don't get me wrong.
hardcore. Yeah, it was hardcore.
It was hardcore.
Sure.
Whereas the ones in Wisconsin that we've been in have been, as Lamar was saying, they're just very cozy, pub-like. Yeah.
I wish that we had that culture here.
I know.
Because sometimes you want to leave the house for a few hours, but you don't want a big production. You know, you want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go to Cheers, like on the TV show. Let's see. I just saw a bunch of people go by. Oh, Parkersburg, West Virginia. Teresa Overby and Debbie Malamphy, I hope I said that right, is in Cedar Rapids.
Kathy Allen says, don't be jealous, Bob Lacey. We're in Crater, Arizona on a cross-country road trip, and we are in our Airstream. That is
Meteor Crater, Arizona.
Yep.
I'm an Airstream fan. I'm an Airstream fan.
Me too.
I just couldn't pull the trigger. I mean, that's
why?
Because
it's expensive.
It's expensive. Very expensive.
Well, now you are a full-time member on the Bob and Sheri show.
The sky is the limit.
I would buy two.
I would say the ceiling might be the limit, not so much the sky.
Let's ask Doc. Let's ask Doc right now. Doc plays softball. Is this softball season the end of softball season, Doc?
No, it's never the end. It's always ongoing. There's always a new season.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
One blends into the next one.
Pretty much.
Really? What position do you play?
I'm an outfielder. So when you're good at one position, or if you're really fast, you are always forced into the outfield, and that's that. Like
outfielders
play another
like center field,
all
right
of the
field.
positions. all of them. It
All the
depends
fields.
on the team. Yeah.
Outfielders are generally the heavy hitters. Are you a heavy hitter?
I can. I don't really try to. It's a lot of accidental home runs, but
Uh-oh. See, this humbleness here. Just go ahead and own
It
it.
makes me
Go
sick.
ahead and own it.
Yeah,
You're the
it makes me
You're
sick.
the monster at the plate. Just go ahead and don't
Exactly.
be embarrassed. Own
He's
it.
so modest. He'll never tell us.
Be
No,
like
I'm
Bob.
terrible.
Say you're on fire. Say you are fire. You are fire on the softball field.
I don't think
I'm
he
okay at
can.
best. I'm all right at best.
Did I ever tell you about what my little league coach instructed me to do on one of the few times my father came to see me play in little league?
Mm-mm.
He may have come more often than perhaps I remember, but anyway, we're playing, and I was second base for the Olson Plumbers. That was our team, the Olson Plumbers in North
Second
Haven,
base ain't
Connecticut.
no joke.
And there were no lights on the field. And so we're ahead by approximately 23 runs. As long as we get the game over before it gets dark, we get the win. Otherwise, it's a tie. And so the coach came to me and he said, all right, you're up next. And here's what I want you to do. No matter what, just swing really slowly and don't try to hit because we got to end this game.
And you knew your dad was in the stands.
He was in the stands. So, but I'm listening to the coach, right? And my dad is saying, yeah, to some guy he doesn't even know next to me. Yeah, that's my kid over there. I got him. Number 9, like Ted Williams. He's born on Ted Williams' birthday. So my father, he's there. So I get up to bat, right? And I hope I can do this right. And the kid winds up, and all I heard from Coach, by the way, Coach Ball Digger was his name. I'm not making. Am I right, Sheri?
No, it's true. Coach Ball
It
Digger.
is true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Coach Ball Digger, and all I can hear is Ball Digger's voice in my head. Just swing slowly. Kid winds up and pitches, and I swing like this. I swing like that, like 3 times, and then you're out. And my father said to me later, "What are you doing?" He was so embarrassed. And looking back on it, I mean, I can see why, but it's one of the few times I was following direction.
See, that's what you get for following directions.
And thanks to you, your team won. You guys won.
Yeah, we did.
But that is not how Big Bob saw it, is it?
No. It's really not how Ball Diggers saw it either. But nonetheless. And you're right. At that moment, I never thought of this until this moment. I realized I shouldn't follow directions.
Yeah, don't take instructions from anybody. Just do what you think is best every time.
Yeah.
Obeying authority has never served you well, ever.
No.
It's just it's a terrible plan.
Be
for
under
you.
that thumb.
No, that's right. That's right. Well, Lamar, people, you've been on the show now full time for what, 2 weeks? Something like
Feels
that?
like 6 months, but I'm okay. Yeah.
Feels like 6 months. Tell me about it. It feels like 60 years for me. And I've loved every minute of it. People love you on the show. We've gotten such great response.
I love being on. I love being on the show.
Is it different than you imagined when you were just the People's Movie Critic?
Yeah. It is different. I had it in my head. I said this will be great because I can take it easy. But there's a lot to it. I enjoy every minute of it, but there's a lot. There really is a lot.
You know what Bob and I are really enjoying? It's been a long time since we had a new member of our club who said things like, "My wife doesn't understand why I need a nap." It's been a long time.
It comes like this. So you wore yourself out laughing? It's just
That's so true.
you wore yourself out laughing.
Yeah.
Because it really sounds like you're just laughing.
Yeah.
You're just laughing and a talking.
Yeah.
So-
There is, outside of the people in this room, there is no one in my life who thinks I have a job.
No.
No one.
Laughing and talking. What was the thing that sounded like that on Hee Haw?
Picking and a grinning.
Picking and a
and a
grinning.
grinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Picking
that
and a grinning.
close. Yeah.
Yeah. No one. Not one person in my life. My pets don't think I have a job. They think that I spend a fair portion of every day just sitting talking to myself, and then it's time to feed them and scoop their litter box. Like, it's wild, Lamar, because that is I wondered if it would be that way for you, and it didn't take long at all
No.
for her smoking hotness to decide, you call that working? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I want to say hi to Marilyn Lyford. So if you were listening to us, we lost one of our people. Margaret Zwicker
Yes,
passed
we
away
did.
very abruptly and suddenly. And her sister Marilyn is here with us tonight. And Marilyn, like, we can't even convey to you like what a blow it was for all of us. We sat in silence and could not believe that it was true. So our deepest, most heartfelt condolences to your family and to all of Margaret's friends.
Yeah.
So thank you and Marilyn, thank you for jumping on and being with us tonight. Really, I can't believe you're here, and I hope you feel the love, because boy, we sure had it for Margaret,
No
all
doubt.
of us.
No doubt.
Melissa says Melissa Flynn is sending hugs and love to your family. And Medina, let's see if I say this right. Medina Poole said, Bob, when our son played peewee ball, the moms played the kids with a coach, pitcher, and catcher. I was surprised at how few moms had played softball, but we won. And is there anything more satisfying than a group of adults just cleaning the clocks of a bunch of little kids?
Oh God, I have to. Speaking of kids, I have to tell you something about my wife today. She is just so amazing. She's walking on the beach. You know, we live in a barrier island, and she's walking on the beach with Finn, and she's walking along, and she looks over and sees a little kid, and she connects the little kid. I'm talking about 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5 years old. She connects the little kid in her mind to who her mother is. And the blonde lady with the little kid is my niece from my previous marriage. And my wife says, Katie. And on the beach, Katie, my niece from a previous marriage, turns around and goes, Mary. My wife is so observant, and it ain't easy living with that sometimes. But she noticed a kid from a Facebook post and connected the mother.
That's wild.
That's a
Oh,
lot.
Oh my God,
wild.
that's wild.
Scary.
Crazy.
And they're on vacation here, and they all came over and we have a little pool in the backyard, and all the kids got in the pool. I brought them out popsicles, and we had a big old time. And I called my daughter Landon, and I said, "Can you believe that Mary saw Katie's child on Facebook, and then saw her on the beach, and said, 'Oh, that's Katie.'" And Landon said to me, "I could have been walking down the beach and not noticed my cousin Katie." So she is my daughter, without a doubt. Isn't that amazing?
But what a
Yeah.
fun surprise to have.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
To have
Yeah.
them show
They're
up
all
like
so
that.
sweet. They're all
God,
so
what a small
sweet.
world.
Yeah,
It's,
I know.
it's funny though, because like you do, well, I know Mary does, and I do. You spend so much time looking at people's posts and photos that I swear you think you could recognize them, like that's like
Yeah.
their dogs, their kids, all of it. I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that. I do.
yeah.
What a fun day for you.
I know. It was great. I mean, to be able to go out there and bring popsicles to the relatives of my ex.
Lindsay Saloom said, Bob, why are you surprised she can smell your dehydration?
You know, she's right. Oh my God, that's a Bob and Sheri listener right there. She actually can. She'll say, "Have you had any water today?" "No." "Yeah, you smell dehydrated." What does that mean? What is that smell? Has anyone ever said that outside of my wife?
I don't know.
I've
I
never
can
heard
smell it
that.
on children, like a sick child that's fevery and dehydrated. Yeah, that has a very distinct. I can sniff it out on a baby. I try not to get that close to other adults. You know? No, I mean, like do you get that close to other adults that you're sniffing on them? I
No,
try not to.
I definitely don't. But I mean, were there men in the trenches in World War I? And one guy turns to the other and says, "You know, Ernie, you smell a little hydrated. I know we're going over the top, but you
No,
smell."
because until the millennial children, until the last of the millennial children were born, no human beings in America drank water. We didn't know that water was something
Oh
you were supposed
yeah,
to drink.
I forgot about that. You're
Like
That
exactly
was a
right.
punishment. It was a punishment. You have to drink.
Yeah, Lamar, think about when you were a
Lamar's
little
right.
boy
Yeah,
in elementary school, no air
right.
conditioning, outside running around on the playground, no water
Yeah,
bottles. You
right.
could line up and you could have 10 seconds if you were lucky at the water fountain.
Yeah.
But today, these little kids are some hydrated little munchkins. They really are.
Let me ask Heather. Heather, did you go to public school?
Mhm.
What was the worst thing they served in the cafeteria in public school?
Oh gosh. The meatloaf probably, because it was
Oh man,
always somehow underdone and burnt at the same time. I don't really know how you accomplish that, but
I know it's a gift for the cook,
I
the chef.
love lunch.
How
I
about
loved lunch in public school.
you? What?
I loved lunch in public school because
What
when
would
I
you
was in
get?
public school, we had lunchroom ladies that cooked.
Yeah. Oh
Now
really?
they have companies that bring it in, and
Yeah.
it's like airline food. But
Yeah.
when I was a kid, they had lunchroom ladies with the hairnets, and they were back there cooking. Oh my gosh,
What were they cooking though?
everything! They
What's
cooked
everything?
everything. They cooked hamburgers. They cooked macaroni. They cooked, roast beef. I mean, and I'm telling you, the best tuna fish salad ever.
We had
Ever.
lunch ladies in
Really?
Wyoming who cooked, Bob.
Oh yeah.
And the food was amazing. I mean, amazing. Now, at one of my at my elementary school, the chief lunch lady was also our school bus driver. That woman did something terrible in her past life. That's all I can say. Her karma done got served.
I'll say.
We would come in a line, and I started picking out the different lunchroom ladies what they served, and I would tell them how nice looking they were today, and I'd be talking to them and ask them if they had a good weekend, and they'd give me a little.
You were a player, like
Yeah, but I was a player for more tuna fish.
What a bunch of bullshit! Are you kidding?
No. I would be talking smack to them women, and they would count the people, like they're doing the serving, and they would count, and then they would see which one was my tray. My tray was a good tray. My tray had plenty of
Look
food.
at this.
Oh yeah.
I tell you, young men, you can learn from this.
I gotta take some notes.
Yeah, I'm telling you. How about you,
That's,
Doc?
that's how I
What do you
found out the
recall?
secret to their tuna fish, because I asked one of the lunchroom ladies. I said,
You did not.
I'm
You
like,
did not
11
ask a lunchroom lady what's the secret to her tuna fish.
I'm 11 years old, and I'm like, this tuna fish is the best tuna fish I've ever had. And she said, well, thank you. And I said, but it's different. My mom makes tuna fish, but it's not as good as yours. Can you tell me? I said, I know there's a secret. What's the secret? And she looked around and she said, chop up some apple, mayonnaise, pickle, but chop up some apple and put it in there. Rinse the tuna fish, chop up some apple. So I went home, got me a can of tuna fish, opened that bad boy up, rinsed it off in the sink, put it in a bowl, put some Duke's mayonnaise in there, a little bit of pickle relish, and I chopped up an apple. My life has never been the same. It was awesome.
Whoa.
Unbelievable.
What an interesting little trick that is. Who would have ever guessed?
That was my favorite
Interesting
meal.
little man you were.
Every time we had it, you'd get a scoop of tuna fish on a bed of lettuce, and you would get half of a baked potato. Oh my gosh, it was awesome.
I
Doc-
would never in a million years have thought to put apple in tuna fish.
Ever. I would never. I put Tabasco sauce in mine.
Okay.
And I might chop up a pickle if I'm feeling
No. Listen to me. I took her recipe, and once I got to be an adult, I took it to another level. I get white albacore tuna. Don't get that regular stuff. Get the white albacore tuna. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rinse it. Then dice up some apple. Okay. Cut up some grapes. And when you do the grapes, you have to cut the grape in half, and then you have to cut it again so that each grape is cut into quarters. Okay. So it's small. So you've got now. Then you chop up a little bit of onion. If you're onion, I like onion. So chop
Yeah.
up some onion.
Yeah.
But then get broccoli crowns. Okay. Take the broccoli
Good
crowns.
glory. There's a
and
whole
take the
buffet
knife
in this tuna box.
and start cutting the broccoli on the top of the crown so that it sort of shreds the broccoli so it's really fine. Put that in there.
I totally agree with all of that. I mean, I've had chicken salad where they cut up grapes, and it really has made a difference, and maybe a few walnut pieces. I'm very surprised that you would put broccoli in there. Very surprised.
It is so great. It really is.
How many people here, raise your hands, are surprised that Lamar from Georgia was putting broccoli in his food?
That's I'm a big broccoli eater. I love broccoli. I don't like it.
How about you, Doc? How about you, Doc? What was school food like for you?
So it was weird because for a long time, my sisters and I, we didn't really partake in the school lunch. We would take our lunches. So other than like pizza day or like like chicken sandwich day, we would bring our own lunches in.
Right.
But we would get our parents would give us the money for the chocolate milk. So that's the part that I remember the most.
Nice.
I had that almost every day for 12, 13 years and haven't had it since.
I love chocolate milk.
Isn't that funny how that was like your every day, and then one day it was over and you never looked back, never did it again?
I don't think I could take it now. It's too much.
I grew up in an Italian town, like 45% of the population were Italian. And, it was good when you went out to a pizza restaurant, but it really wasn't that helpful going to school, because you can take some pasta stuff and make big vats of it. And it was just filling. And I got some ravioli once. They would have like ravioli on Monday, spaghetti and meatballs on Tuesday, and these are in big vats. The pizza thing on Wednesday. I mean, the carbs were just unbelievable. And of course, there would be fish on Friday because obviously it was Catholic town. I got the ravioli once, and I went into it, and there was a bolt from the what do you call it? The steam cabinet thing. A bolt from the steam cabinet fell into my ravioli, and I brought it up and I said, "There's a bolt in my ravioli," and they said, "Stop it!" And they threw the bolt away and ignored me.
Things that only happen to Bob. Oh,
I know. And I told my mother and father, and they went, "Stop it. Just stop with what you're doing. There's a bolt in my ravioli."
What I like about that is they gaslighted you. They turned it around.
Totally.
And made it like, you little punk.
I know.
You're coming up here complaining about a bolt in your ravioli. Go sit down.
I know.
Did you have the ravioli after that, or were you just
You had no
slowly
choice. No, you had no choice. But I was more careful. I was,
You were checking it for metal.
Exactly. Yeah. I like a little iron in my food, but I mean, come on. All right, you all carry on for a minute. I'll be right back. I've got to replenish my wine.
Doc, somebody earlier asked what your favorite video game was, and I'm sorry, I already lost who it was because this moved really fast.
Oh goodness, that's a good question. I don't really know. I play a wide variety, like of the old school games from Sega, Genesis, Sonic, Mario, some Call of Duty, stuff like that.
Did you get the new Zelda?
I did not. I'm not really into the new Zelda.
Oh, I'd rather have a stick in the eye than play one of them games. But my son Clay, he loves them, and he got the new Zelda. And he just keeps telling me it's so great. It's so great. The worst words I ever heard when my kids were small was, "Hey, Daddy, come watch me play video games." Oh my God!
That is
somebody play a video game is the worst. It's the worst.
Oh, I love it. Like I'll sit there and after we finish this happy hour, I'll probably sit down and watch some guy playing games for like an hour or two.
The idea that you can go, Gabriel, one of my other sons, Gabriel is like the video game captain. He's the captain. I had a guy at work one day that Gabriel played with his son online. He came to me. He goes, Gabriel, he's awesome. And I said, damn well better be. I mean, as much as he plays it, if he's not really, really good, we got a problem. But he would get on YouTube and stuff and watch these guys play for hours. And I'm like, what are you doing? He says, I'm watching this. And I'm like, you're not playing. He goes, I know. And I'm like, oh my God, stop.
Hey, Lamar, you can't see it, but behind you, Darby's going to town on her toy.
It's a pink dragon. It's a pink dragon. And she loves it.
She's having the best time back there.
All right, I'm back, and Finn has just eaten his. Come here, over here. Has eaten his food. Can you see him?
Hey, Finn.
Oh,
hey Finn, look. I know Finn misses me. I know he does. I had so much fun at your house with him.
Thank you. He gets a greenie. Greenies, they cost approximately the same as caviar. And he eats his dinner. Look at him here. Up. You want the greenie? You want the greenie? Go. And now he goes to his special place to enjoy his greenie.
I'm with Jeff. Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. I was so good at Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. Like that was the only video game that I could really play. Anything that has a lot of stuff happening, I get overwhelmed and freeze. Yeah. Like I don't know how people play some of these multiplayer hunting, shooting, stalking games. I get so freaked out and overwhelmed that I'm just eating. I'm the first person eating. Can't do it.
Have you ever sat and listened to somebody like now when Gabriel when he was still here, he's got his own job and everything now, but when he was still here, he would be in his bedroom. And I mean, it's like they're in war. And he's screaming at the top of his lungs, "What's wrong with you? Can you not?" Oh my gosh.
Bob
Mary's son did that. Yeah, with Hampton. Oh God.
Doc, do you do that? I can't picture it.
No.
So.
Doc would be can y'all come on over? No, okay. Whatever. Yeah, he's not good. But I mean, Gabriel would be talking, and I told Gabriel now, I said, man, if you was talking to me like that, I would put them controllers down and come over to the house and whoop you.
I know.
God. But, it's part of the deal.
I guess it is part of the deal, but it was like Hampton became a different character when he was online doing that.
Oh, and yes.
We'd go in there every once in a while, mostly his mother saying, "Did I just hear what I heard?"
Oh yeah, the language sometimes. Yes,
I know.
Because they forget they're at home. And they start using that language they use at school. Like we think they don't know those words, and they forget. Oh yeah.
Hey, let me shout out Lisa Irish, her son. Her son has a channel on YouTube called Your Player 2. Your Player, the number 2. 26,000 subscribers. It's all about gaming and Steam games. So if you're into that sort of thing, go subscribe to Your Player, the number 2. And let's boost Lisa's son's follows.
Jennifer Smith says, I think Lamar needs to review the Hallmark movies with Tom Arnold in it. Is there more than one?
I think there's just the one. It was that one we talked about the other day where you guessed.
I'm not afraid of a Hallmark movie. A few years ago, Sheri asked me, she said, I think it would be so fun. I got a new key. Thank you, baby. I'm getting replenished. Now, see, Bob, my wife brings me a replenishment.
No.
Thank you, baby.
Don't start with that. My wife notices nieces that I am no longer related to. So
No, no, you've got
you have
something there.
yours.
There. What was we talking about?
We were talking about I don't know.
Doc, you're supposed to keep up with this.
I forgot.
It
We
was
were talking about
years though.
Hallmark movies.
Yeah,
Hallmark.
yeah.
Sherry
That's
says,
right.
I think it would be really funny if you reviewed a Hallmark movie. And I'm like, well, okay. Well, I reviewed the Hallmark movie. And then I watched another Hallmark movie and another Hallmark. Next thing I know, me and Carla are sitting down watching nonstop Hallmark movies.
How can you do that? You're such a man's man. How could
I
you?
know, but
how
I
could you
like listen.
do it?
I'm a man's man, but I like romance. I like to see, and you know Hallmark is going to be a happy ending. I don't care what happens.
Yeah,
It's
they're
going
so
to be
addicting.
good at the end, and I like I like it. I mean, I like for everything to work out. And I'm really, we watched a bunch of Hallmark.
Lamar, listen to this suggestion from Cheryl Newton. She says, OMG, yes. For the month of December, Lamar reviews a Hallmark Christmas movie every day. That would be pretty funny. Oh my gosh, that would be good. Could you even do that?
Yeah. Good luck to you, pal.
I'm a sucker for that stuff. I'm a sucker for, that's all right.
I know. You know what it comes down to? I mean, the world is such an ugly place so often, and there's so much just
Yeah.
animosity.
Hallmark's not a problem.
Yeah.
Lamar, did you watch soap operas growing up?
Well, all right. I did when I was a kid, small child, my mom worked. And so I stayed with an aunt, which wasn't really my aunt, but you know how that goes. You call her your aunt. And she watched the soap operas in the afternoons. And so during the morning, now this is the difference in childhood. I'm out in the middle of nowhere in the country. So if I wanted to get a soft drink, I would have to walk up and down these dirt roads in the country and find bottles on the side of the road. And I would gather up all the bottles, and you had deposits on the bottles. So you get 3 cents deposit on each bottle. And so I'd get enough bottles to go get an RC Cola. And then I would go back to my aunt's place when the soap operas came on, and she'd make me peanut butter and crackers. And I would
was Opie there too? Was Opie and Floyd there?
Listen. We all can't be in the luxurious Maine. What you're doing up there with a big restaurant and eating lobster. And
We were broke. We were going bankrupt.
I'm in Georgia, going up and down dirt roads looking for damn bottles on the side of the road so I can get a drink. What are you talking about?
Don't you paint me as some effete Yankee.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were living in a one-room freaking
Let me tell you
schoolhouse.
something. In Hartwell, Georgia, out in the middle of nowhere, there wasn't no Pepe's Pizza, okay? I'm just telling you.
We'll be right back with who is more poor in his upbringing in just a minute.
But she watched the CBS shows. And so I would sit in there with her and watch them. So when I grew up and I'm on the beer truck, working back then, it was at Slits when I first started. But everywhere you went, the bars during the day, like the people that worked third shift, they would, come into the bars early in the morning. And so their bars had people all day long.
Yeah.
And when you were in the bars in the afternoon, all these men are sitting at the bar and they're watching The Young and the Restless, As the World Turns.
Really?
They're watching all of that. And honestly, from watching that as a kid, I knew even then, you're talking 20 years later, I'm still recognizing the same people.
Yeah.
I mean, Victor Newman.
Morgan Fairchild will always be with us. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I watched them.
That is so interesting that those guys would sit there and watch that.
Well,
so let me ask you, they would come off a third shift, right? So that's about what, 7 a.m?
Yeah.
And
those guys were watching game shows. Think
about it, Bob. This is before a million versions of ESPN.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Like, what
Yeah.
was there to watch but
Yeah.
game shows and Days of Our Lives?
It was
Yeah.
weird to go into a
We're
bar in the
privileged.
morning at 8 o'clock, and the guy's sitting there, and he's got a sausage and egg sandwich and a cold beer. But
Yeah.
for him, he just got off work, so for
Yeah.
him, it's like nighttime. You know.
Yeah, what an interesting, I
Oh.
never thought about that. And I lived in a town with people going to a helicopter factory 3 shifts,
Yeah.
but I never thought about that, coming off and having a shot and a beer at
Yeah.
7:15 in the morning.
And
It's
what's
whatever you
on?
want.
You
Yeah.
know, The Price
Yeah.
is Right. Listen
Yeah.
to what
God.
Teresa Broom
Bob Barker,
said.
baby.
She said, I watched General Hospital after school until I was in 3rd grade. That's when I made the mistake of asking my mom what artificial insemination was. General Hospital for me. Yeah, you can get a real education.
I remember having the flu and being home and watching one of the soap operas, and it's just like burned in my brain that there was like one character trapped in a cage, and I still think about that sometime. Like, what a wild week that was, where somebody had
That had to be Days of Our Lives. They had demonic possession. The
Yeah.
whole town blew up
Really?
at one point.
There
Yeah.
was somebody trapped in a
Yeah.
cage.
Victor
Yeah.
Newman kept a
Freaking
man in
shit.
his basement for months. I mean,
What?
oh yeah. He kept him captive for months. Oh yeah. Victor Newman, I watched him over the years. He would be a good guy and a bad guy and a good guy.
Oh, Victor. Yeah.
We had I guess probably 30 years ago. We had a grocery store chain in my area was Bilo, and they would have a big show at the auditorium, and they would bring in soap opera stars to pull people in. And I got to meet Victor Newman. It was awesome. I mean,
Get
it really
out of
was.
here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what I would give to see the picture of you with Victor back in the day. You know that Jennifer Aniston's father was a giant star of Days of
And a
Our Lives.
good look. Oh God, good
Yeah.
looking man. I mean,
Yeah.
a handsome man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Vic-
That's right.
I mean, no,
I mean, he was on Days of Our Lives probably before like I was born until I think he died. And he died just a few years ago, right? It's very recent. Massive star of that daytime soap.
Dick Clark was so right. You and I interviewed Dick Clark once, well, more than once, but he said, one of the reasons that so many people come out of Los Angeles and end up on TV shows or in the movies, bless you, was that their parents, who were the best looking people in their local towns, in Georgia, in Kansas, wherever it may be, they looked at themselves in the mirror and they went to Los Angeles. And there's only so many people that can make it,
Yeah.
but they're really good looking.
Oh yeah.
And then they meet somebody else who's really good looking, and she didn't make it either, but they're in LA and they have kids. And guess what the kids look like?
And
Freaking
that's
movie
that
stars.
Oh yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
great line from that old song. And all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Dionne Warwick song. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The date there aren't that many left. A lot of the daytime soaps are gone.
There's still a few, but
There's
but
a
most,
few.
Which
right,
ones
but-
are still on? I don't even know.
Like All My Children's still on. Young and the Restless is
Young
still
and the
on,
Rest is
right?
still on.
Is Bold and the Beautiful still on?
I don't
No,
think
I
so.
don't think so. Days of Our Lives is still on. Is
Listen,
General
the Young and the
Hospital still
Restless. I
on?
got caught up in some of those storylines. I mean, I really did. I mean,
With the Young and the Restless?
yeah, that was a
Yeah.
yeah.
Why are they so restless, these young? Do they
because they're young.
It's the youth.
It's
and-
the
and
youth.
they-
It says that General Hospital is still on, Days of Our Lives is still on, and The Young and the Restless is still on.
Like
with
Robin
the golden
Mason said
Golden
Bold and
Bachelor,
Beautiful's
with the
on.
Golden Bachelor, they should bring back like The Old and the Useless. Too harsh? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But see, I think people watch now. You either watched your soaps on ABC or CBS or NBC, because I think General Hospital was NBC. All the stuff.
No,
that
General
I watched,
Hospital was
ABC.
ABC, Days of
ABC,
Our
okay.
Lives, because
Yeah.
my grandmother was a Days of Our Lives, Another World viewer.
Oh,
But
yeah.
all of my friends in high school, their moms were all into General Hospital, and all my children. It was very difficult. The cultural clash was very,
But
very
here's the great thing that happened for kids. Dark Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Barnabas Collins in
Oh
Dark
yeah.
Shadows, and Quentin Collins. Oh,
We've had people online commenting on Dark Shadows there.
oh yeah,
I-
Barnabas.
Spooky,
I
spooky
know
vampire
about it.
music.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's so spooky.
Oh, listen, Sherry. And this would have been made for you.
Is
It
it on
is.
YouTube?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
The
somewhere?
hero of the show
Made
was
for her.
Barnabas Collins, and he was a vampire, and he was a
Mhm.
good vampire. He was a really good vampire. And then there was Quentin, and oh my gosh, and
The
listen,
music
I read the book.
was so creepy that
Was this
started
a
it
date,
out.
like on every day, like a daytime soap
every day,
opera?
5
every
days
day,
a
5
week.
days a week.
yeah,
Sherry, it says
3:30,
you
3:30 in the afternoon.
you can stream it on Peacock apparently.
On Peacock. See, there was, because of, all my years without television, like there are these weird, wild gaps. And so I've only read about Dark Shadows, and I've
Sweetheart,
seen.
you were not born then. You were not born.
Oh no, I think
during
wasn't
Dark
it on TV, like in the.
I was a kid. I was a child. I was
So-
like
Right.
elementary, junior
Yeah.
high. And I was in elementary school because I wouldn't have watched it in junior high. But I read the book.
I was in
I saw
graduate
the
school
book.
when it came out.
So wait, I have a question. You're telling me that 5 days a week there was a daytime soap opera about a family of helpful vampires?
Yes, yes. There was a werewolf too. There was a werewolf.
Shut up! That's amazing. Why don't they bring that back?
Was it-
That's so good.
Because the drugs were better back then is the only answer that I have.
Was Quentin wasn't a vampire? He was a werewolf. Quentin was a werewolf.
I don't know. I didn't watch
He was.
it. That
He was a
closely.
werewolf.
My God.
So wait,
Things were slow in Georgia.
I have
Jeez.
so many questions. The other people on the show, was everyone vampire-y and
No.
werewolves, or were there regular townspeople?
They were regular people, and oh my, I just, oh God, what a show! What a show! And the first thing we would do at school the next morning was talk about what we watched on Dark Shadows. This is why
would the
Georgia was number
vampires-
50. No, I'm sorry, we were 49. Our motto was "Thank God for Mississippi." We were 49 in education.
Wait. Did the vampires like drink the blood of the townspeople?
No, they never showed that. I don't think. I never
Not
watched
in a bad way.
one of them all
Not
the
in
way
a bad
through.
way.
What do you mean, not in a bad way? Like,
Well, I
in
mean-
a good way.
I mean, yeah.
I got to know that answer too.
There was some. Listen. Quentin would only drink the blood of like a bad person, a really bad.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
But they didn't. I mean, once again, I've never really watched the show. I saw.
No, you know what?
No, I
You
didn't.
sure?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
But
okay.
would they show him like drinking the blood of a bad person? Because
They
there's
would-
some
they would
bad
not-
people I would be
they-
willing to do
They
that
would
with.
show him raising up and having blood, just a little bit of blood.
Ah,
Okay, so next
okay.
question. Were they old school vampires, like they couldn't go out in the sun, or were they Twilight vampires and they sparkled?
No.
He
This
used,
was
he
old
used
school. This was-
sunscreen. He used a
Yeah,
lot of sunscreen. It was just the
Twilight's
beginning
not
of it.
like a real Twilight. They don't even have fangs. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, I watched all the Twilight movies, but please, they don't have fangs.
No,
Barnabas
that guy had
had
fangs. I saw it in the promos when I
Yeah,
was.
but
a
they
kid.
would they would only come out when it was time to bite somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question. Did the townspeople in Dark Shadows, like General Hospital is set in Port Charles, Days of Our Lives is set in Salem. Did the townspeople in Dark Shadows know that the folks in that big Gothic house were vampires and werewolves?
No,
No?
it was fairly secret because Barnabas, look, he was a normal guy, but they were, and vampires are always rich, I guess, because they've lived for so long. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I mean, compounding interest can really work for you if you're a vampire. I
The
mean,
magic of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was,
many
set,
people-
it was set in Barnstable, Massachusetts, the headquarters of Greater Media. That's
Say no more. Yeah. Say no more. The townspeople knew they were bloodsuckers then. Yes. Got it.
Exactly.
Got it. So why did this magnificent daily vampire soap opera go away?
I think I outgrew it. I don't know, because it ran for a long time. And like I say, they had a bunch of novels, little paperback novels, and I read those like, oh my gosh, I read those all the time.
Spookiest music ever on a TV show. Because
Yeah.
I was a young kid and I would hear in the background at 3:30 in the afternoon. I would go, what is that?
And when
Oh,
Barnabas,
you gotta listen to it.
Barnabas, he always had the shot of him was he was holding his cane and he would have his hand over the top and he had this really big ring, which was like, and he, oh yeah. Yeah.
So, Bob, did your mother? I can't picture Mary watching the original Mary Lacey. I can't picture her watching this.
No, my mother did not watch any soap operas unless she was over at Connie Zimmerman's house. She would bring me over to Connie Zimmerman's house because she had she couldn't leave me alone in the house. And the two of them would drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, and talk about how shitty their husbands were. And they would put me in front of the TV, and all I can remember are the words, "Search for tomorrow." And that was
as sand in an hourglass.
Exactly. And I'd sit there.
Of our
I don't know
lives.
what was going on. But it was on in the background. She didn't do that. I just thought about that the other day. I love my mother so much, and everybody called her Saint Mary. But once in a while, I would walk into the house, and she didn't know I was there, and I could hear her talking to herself. And it wasn't something that was funny, but I think she was answering my father's bullshit.
Oh, after he was gone. Yeah.
After he was gone.
Yeah.
So she didn't do the soap opera thing. I never saw her watch one of those things, but I did see her in the kitchen with a cigarette going, well, that is wrong. And you're wrong. That was her soap opera.
Well, can I say in defense of soap operas, because my grandma loved Days of Our Lives and Another World. This was someone whose husband was always away. My papa was in the Navy. He was always away at sea.
Right.
She did not drive. There was no internet. Her parasocial relationships were with the characters on these soap operas. And they filled a wonderful need for her there was like drama and story and
escape. It was such an escape because all these people, money was never a situation.
Right.
The money was never. Everybody, money was no problem. They had other troubles. They had, but no. Everybody was.
So let's ask Doc and Heather. Did anybody in your family watch these shows? Did you watch these shows? There's only a handful of them left.
Aside from being sick at home with the flu, I don't remember really watching any. I think maybe.
Did your grandmother not watch them?
I don't ever remember her watching them, but I'm sure she did. But she was a very busy lady, always going all the time.
Yeah. And so my mom, she watched the CBS soap operas and Days of Our Lives. Yes. I was really big into this soap opera. I saw somebody mention it in the comments. It was called Passions. And I was so obsessed with it.
I remember that.
I convinced my roommates. I was in college at the time. I convinced my roommates to start watching it with me because there's this one storyline that it took them like 6 months of this woman she'd gotten kidnapped by this other jealous girl. She had her kidnapped and dropped in her basement. She was stuck in the basement for like 6 months. And I loved it. It was so weird. And they had magic and there was a witch.
She was dropped in a basement for 6 months.
Yes, that's what you do in a soap opera with your enemy. You kidnap them and you keep them in the basement and you don't let them out.
Hey, why didn't we do that with Greater Media? If we knew that
Because they did that to us. We got there
Oh,
first.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
why my office was in the basement, Bob. Did you ever see me go home?
That's right. You were captured. Oh my God. You were. Oh,
You know, I'm doing a webinar tomorrow with the former president of the now no longer existent Greater Media. I hope he's watching tonight.
which I used to call publicly greater mediocrity.
Oh my God. This is going to be a good time. Tomorrow afternoon at 1:00 Eastern, I am going to be sitting next to this man that we have raked over every coal we can find.
Robin Taylor Manson said, "My basement is too nice to keep someone I don't like there." Aren't you lucky?
The good thing about soap operas is if you happen to miss a couple of episodes, you can still keep up. Because, like, if the phone rang on Tuesday, they didn't answer it until Thursday. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was such a slow, they were never in a hurry on the storyline.
Boy, you're right about that.
If you missed a day or two, no big deal.
No
You're
problem.
good to go. Yeah.
That's what, as a kid, when I would walk by the TV, I would look at it. Everything was just like you were in cement. When the camera moves, the talking, and then they would get very, very emotional, but everything was so slow.
Remember how, so when I would be homesick from school, my grandma would make me a little like bed on the couch and I could watch her stories with her, right?
A little palette.
So remember how on the daytime soap operas, because of the way they had to frame it for TV, anytime two characters would be having like a heated conflict, one would be standing close to the camera and the other would be behind that person.
Yes.
So, I'm a teenager and it's my first boyfriend and he wants to have like an argument and he wants to face me. And I'm like, excuse me, that's not how this works. You stand here and you address this to the back of my head. Have you never seen Days of Our Lives, sir?
I just remembered that my mom actually watched soap operas because that's how my older sister got her name. And I don't know which it was. She's named Felicia and I don't remember which soap opera
off of
it
one of
was.
the characters. Yeah. I think I saw it went by so fast in the chat. Somebody here tonight is named after Erica Kane on All My Children, Susan Lucci's character. I think a lot of us might have gotten our names from daytime soap operas, from parents inspired by that.
The biggest female character I remember was on Young and the Restless, Nikki.
Here, boo-boo.
I mean, she was the character. I need to look that up and see whatever happened to her, or where she got to, or whatever. But I mean, that was a big deal.
For me, it was Sammy Brady on Days of Our Lives, which, by the way, she is now transferred over into being one of the regular Hallmark movie stars.
See?
Good for her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I've never seen an episode of this, but there was a soap opera called The Doctors, and like Alec Baldwin and Kathleen Turner and all these legendary movie stars got their start.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I never watched that. The thing about it is they had the lock on the afternoon TV back when everybody had 3 channels. Most people, I'm going to say across America, wherever you lived, you could get 3 channels. Could anybody get more than that most of the time?
I
don't think until cable. Well, you might get like a weird random independent UHF channel out of some big city, but if you lived
when you had 3 channel TV, the soap operas, they owned the afternoon. They owned it because there was nothing else you could watch.
I want
Hey,
Mary.
how you doing?
I want Mary to say goodnight to everybody because she did such a great job bringing my niece, finding her on the beach. I don't know how she did.
I have eyes.
Mary, I want to say again, Mary, I appreciate when we were down at your house bringing us snacks and stuff on Sunday. That was very nice. Thank you so much.
Well, you guys were really hungover, and I could see you sweating. So it's like a
appreciate
huge
you bringing that up. Thank you.
Have water
Very
and
nice.
Y'all have fun. Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.
All right. So I don't know why it's always my job to wrap this thing up because it makes me sound like I don't want to be around a party too long. But
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Everybody knows that you can't wait for the party to get started. You wait for it to
You're here
end
to the
later
end,
than 9 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
So tomorrow, Lamar, tell everybody what you're going to review tomorrow as the People's Movie Critic.
Saw 10. And let me go ahead and say, if you've been watching us for years and years, you know how much I hate the Saw movies. You really need to listen to this review tomorrow. You really do. I'm not going to say anything else. You need to listen to it.
Well, everyone, listen, thank you for being with us tonight. And Doc, thank you for taking a break from playing softball to be with us here tonight. And for all of the friends and family of our listener, Margaret Zwicker, who are with us here tonight and in the chat, we want to raise our glass as we wrap up happy hour tonight to a great lady who we all miss. We can't imagine the hole she's left in your life. So full of life. Damn, I cannot believe I've opened my last DM from Margaret. To you, as you embark on whatever your next journey is. We'll see y'all in the next happy hour. Cheers.
Take care, y'all. Go Ukraine.
Love y'all.